What up, guys? This one's kind of weird, so just stick with me. I was outside and two crows flew overhead, and I need to stress how crazy it is that two crows, not one, but two, is just unheard of for where I live. I've lived here almost 10 years, and no. Uh, on my hand, I can count with like half a hand how many times I've seen crows. So it's super important. So crows must be a symbol or a sign. Yeah, I immediately saw them, and the very first thing that popped in my head was Odin. I don't know why. I mean, I know the reference, but that's not my typical go-to. But I was like, okay. And then they immediately started talking. Spirit started giving me part of an old like Robert Frost poem, and I looked it up, and it's actually called "The Road Not Taken." But the lines they were giving me were two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And you already know I was like, ooh, every spidey sense was tingling. And I was like, oh, we're going to have to toss on this. I was like, because this seems super important. And I'm going to be honest, the initial energy here is kind of split in half. The initial energy is somebody who's almost like confident and they took the less easy path and they're almost seeking like a reward from doing it. They're almost in their authenticity. They're doing their own thing. It's almost as though they may look back every once in a while and be like, oh man, I wonder what would be different. But it's not because of remorse or regret or thinking they made the wrong decision. And I feel like that's the case. I feel like that type of an energy is part of the collective right now. However, the two crows, the two paths, and the fact that both crows were flying staggered to each other, but they were cawing back and forth to each other and calling out as though they couldn't necessarily see themselves, which was so interesting. It's like they were close enough, but far enough away. I don't know. It was just wild. And on top of it all, the two roads, it got me thinking that the crows symbolized one person being on one road and one on another. And there's this push-pull energy that kind of happens almost like magnets, is the way that I want to say it. And it just makes me feel like one person's flying high and feels the push-pull, but is like, okay. And it makes me feel like the person who's on the more traveled road, right? The one more traveled by, makes me feel as though they're in a state of almost regret or remorse. And it almost makes me feel like they're starting to come to terms with that they wish they took the other path. And that's the way I want to say it. And that's kind of why I feel like I have this Wheel of Fortune. I feel like I have this Tower. I feel like I have this Sun card. And it just feels to me as like they're not really happy right now. They're kind of hitting the awareness that they would rather be elsewhere. So they took one path in life, they made one decision, they made whatever that changed the course of where they're at right now, and they're rethinking it. That's the way I want to say it. They're rethinking it. And I feel like part of the Tower is them trying to find their way out, is them trying to detach and accept, detach and accept the fact that they are where they are and you are where you are. Now, there's a part of this that makes me feel like the two roads will merge again. I know this sounds crazy, but it makes me feel like the two roads will merge again. Oops. And I don't necessarily know why it is that I'm saying that, but I just feel like whoever this energy is, who has taken a path and is questioning their decision, not you, not the one who took the run less traveled by, but the one who took the one more traveled by, is questioning their decision. And it almost makes me feel as though they're going to switch paths. So it makes me feel like you're going to receive an increase of that push-pull and almost like that call-out, like the cacaws of the two crows back and forth. You're going to get an increase of that. And I don't know where it's leading you to. but I feel like somebody's switching up their choice. They're re-choosing. They're making another decision is the way that I want to put it. And I don't know what that means right now, but I just wanted to share it because there's just something very purposeful. And I'm not 100% sure how Odin plays into this quite yet, but he does. So I don't know if this is just, if they're just using that connection as being almost like a divinely guided, like these are the paths you had to walk as part of your grow up, as part of your glow up, as part of your healing, as part of your journey, you know, and somebody chose the quote unquote easier road, and you chose the one more authentic to you, which just so happened to be the less traveled. You went against the grain just a little bit. I just feel like there's a merger coming back. And I feel like there's something that's going to butt together. Like there's some weird spot, fork, whatever, again in the road where it's going to have a change of heart, where someone's going to change their road. And I don't know why I say this. I'm just feeling this, and I'm going to go live, but I wanted to share it with you because it just seems 616 on the time clock. It just seemed important, like too important to not share.